Take a breath, slow down. You don't need to rush into this, because the very first truth you must understand is that nothing powerful is ever rushed. We live in a world that constantly pressures you to move faster, to hustle harder, to do more, to push until something finally breaks. And usually, what breaks is you. You've been told that success belongs to the exhausted, that wealth comes only to those who sacrifice their peace, that happiness is something you earn after years of struggle. But the ancient Stoics, men who ruled empires, commanded armies, and shaped history, knew something radically different. They understood that force creates resistance, and resistance delays everything. Marcus Aurelius, the most powerful man in the Roman world, wrote his private thoughts not to dominate life, but to align with it. He didn't chase peace. He didn't beg fortune. He didn't panic about outcomes. He mastered himself. And when you master yourself, life begins to cooperate. From this moment forward, let this truth settle into you. You are not behind. You are not late. You are not missing anything. You are being prepared. Most people never hear this because most people are too distracted, too anxious, too tense to receive it. But you're here, which means something in you already knows that there is a calmer way to win, a quieter way to succeed, a way to build wealth, confidence, and happiness without burning yourself alive in the process. The Stoics were not passive. They were disciplined, grounded, unshakable. They understood that the strongest person in any room is the one who does not need to prove anything. Think about water. Water never argues with the landscape. It doesn't complain about obstacles. It doesn't rush. And yet it shapes mountains. This is the energy you are learning to embody, not frantic action, not desperate effort, but inevitable movement. When you are tense, life resists you. When you are calm, life opens. This is not motivational talk. This is psychological reality. An anxious mind cannot see opportunity. A desperate mind repels cooperation. A tense nervous system blocks intuition. But a calm mind becomes precise. A relaxed body becomes magnetic. A grounded presence attracts the right people, the right timing, the right outcomes. The Stoics called this living in accordance with nature, not fighting reality, not demanding outcomes, but aligning your inner state with how life actually works. And here is where everything begins to change. You do not manifest success by chasing it. You manifest success by becoming someone success recognizes. You do not attract wealth by obsessing over money. You attract wealth by embodying certainty, patience, and inner authority. You do not find happiness by controlling the future. You find happiness by stabilizing the present. From this point on, this is what we are doing together. We are not hyping you up. We are reprogramming you. We are removing the internal tension that has been quietly blocking your progress. We are replacing effort with alignment, noise with clarity, chasing with attraction. Let this sink in. The universe does not respond to words. It responds to state, and your state is about to change. Principle 1: detached desire. The calm that attracts everything here is a paradox that most people never resolve. The harder you cling to an outcome, the further away it moves. Not because life is cruel, but because desperation distorts perception. Epictetus, born a slave and later revered as one of the wisest men in history, taught something that modern psychology is only now confirming. Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. This does not mean you stop wanting success. It means you stop needing it to feel whole. Needing creates pressure. Pressure creates resistance. Resistance slows everything down. Wanting without attachment creates space. And space is where solutions appear. Look closely at people who seem to attract success effortlessly. They are not frantic. They are not begging life to work out. They are not obsessed with proving their worth. They move with quiet confidence. They want good things, but they are not defined by whether those things arrive today or later. This is what the Stoics called preferred indifference. You prefer success. You prefer wealth, You prefer ease, but your inner stability does not depend on them. This single shift changes everything. When you are emotionally independent of outcomes, you make better decisions. You speak more clearly. You wait when waiting is wise. You act when action is aligned, and life responds to that clarity. Say this internally, slowly: I desire without desperation. Feel the difference. No tightening, no gripping, no fear underneath. Just calm intention. This is not giving up. This is growing stronger. The moment you stop forcing life to comply, life starts cooperating. Principle 2, present moment power. Where everything actually happens, your power has only one location. Not yesterday, not tomorrow, now. Seneca wrote, "True happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence on the future." Most people miss opportunities not because they aren't smart, but because they aren't present. Their body is here, their mind is elsewhere, worried, planning, replaying. But life does not communicate in the future. It communicates now. Opportunities whisper, intuition nudges, timing reveals itself subtly, and you only notice when you're here. Presence is not just awareness. Presence is energetic coherence. When you are present, your nervous system stabilizes, your perception sharpens, your reactions slow down, your intuition turns on. This is why calm people seem lucky. They're not luckier, they're just listening. The most powerful leaders in history shared one trait: they were fully where they were. When they spoke to someone, they were there. When they decided cleanly. When they waited without panic. And paradoxically, this created faster results. From this moment forward, stop living in the waiting room of your life. This moment is not a delay, it is the entry point. Feel your breath. Notice your body, let your shoulders drop. Nothing is missing right now, and when nothing is missing, everything begins to arrive. Principle 3, resistance as refinement, not punishment. Life will challenge you. That is not a failure of manifestation, that is the process. Marcus Aurelius faced war, plague, betrayal, and loss, and still wrote, "What stands in the way becomes the way." This is not poetic optimism, it is psychological mastery. Most people see resistance and think something is wrong. The Stoic sees resistance and thinks something is being shaped. Obstacles are not blocks, they are filters. They refine your patience, your discernment, your emotional discipline. And every level of success requires a higher version of you. When you stop resenting resistance, you stop leaking energy. When you stop fighting reality, you regain momentum. From this state, solutions appear naturally. Ask this instead of reacting: what is this preparing me for? What strength is this building? What mistake is this preventing? Sometimes delays are protection. Sometimes rejection is redirection. Sometimes difficulty is initiation. You are not being denied, you are being calibrated. Lock this in: you are learning to move through life with calm authority, not passive, not careless, but centered. This is the foundation. In the next part, we will go deeper into inner authority, emotional sovereignty, strategic stillness, and the Stoic mindset that creates wealth without chasing it. For now, let this settle. No forcing, no rushing, just alignment. If this resonates, anchor it internally. I am calm, I am grounded, I am becoming magnetic. Inner authority, emotional power, and the Stoic path to wealth without chase. Stay with this pace. There is no rush, because the people who truly succeed in life are never in a hurry. They move deliberately, they choose carefully. They act when action is clean. This is where we deepen the work, because calm alone is not enough. Calm must be paired with inner authority. Principle 4, inner authority, where real power begins. Here is a truth most people are never taught. You have been outsourcing your power. Every time you say, "I'll be happy when," "I'll feel confident once," "I'll relax after I achieve," you hand control of your inner state to something outside of you. And anything you give power to controls you. Epictetus said it clearly: no one can harm you without your consent. This is not about pretending nothing affects you. This is about understanding where authority lives. Your authority does not come from money, not from approval, not from results. Those are effects. Authority comes from self-governance. When your mood depends on outcomes, you are reactive. When your confidence depends on validation, you are unstable. When your peace depends on circumstances, you are powerless. But when you decide, internally, how you will respond to life, everything changes. From this place, you negotiate better, you walk away sooner, you speak less, but with impact. You stop over-explaining, you stop chasing. People feel it immediately. This is why calm people command respect without demanding it. Inner authority creates external leverage. When you no longer need things to go a certain way to be okay, you suddenly gain influence over how things unfold. Say this internally: I decide my state, not someday. Not after success. Now, this is the posture of leaders, of wealthy minds, of people life works with, not against. Principle 5. Emotional sovereignty, mastering the energy that creates results. Your emotions are not the problem. Unconscious emotions are. Seneca taught that most suffering does not come from events, but from the judgments we attach to them. Two people can face the same loss. One collapses, one recalibrates. The difference is emotional sovereignty. This does not mean suppressing emotion. Stoics were not numb. It means emotions are felt, but not obeyed blindly. Emotion is energy, and energy, when directed, becomes creation. Anger can sharpen clarity. Fear can signal preparation. Disappointment can refine standards. But when emotions run the system, they create chaos. When emotions are acknowledged and guided, they create power. This is why emotional regulation is one of the strongest predictors of wealth, leadership, and long-term success. Not intelligence, not talent, regulation. When something triggers you, pause, not to escape the feeling, but to observe it. Ask, what is this emotion telling me? What action would strengthen me right now? What response keeps my dignity intact? This single pause separates reaction from response, impulse from strategy, struggle from leverage. When you master your emotional world, you stop broadcasting instability, and instability repels opportunity. Calm, directed emotion attracts it. Say this slowly. My emotions inform me, they do not control me. Principle 6. Strategic non-action, the power of knowing when to wait. This principle is misunderstood. Stillness is not weakness, and constant action is often anxiety in disguise. The Stoics, and those influenced by Taoist thought, understood something modern culture ignores: not all movement is progress. Sometimes the most powerful move is restraint. There is a difference between doing something and doing the right thing. Most people exhaust themselves trying to force momentum, but force creates friction. Strategic non-action means you act when alignment is clear, you pause when clarity is forming, you stop filling silence with noise. Think of a master chess player. They do not move to feel productive, they wait for positioning. This is how leverage is built: in wealth, in negotiations, in relationships, in timing. When you act from tension, you overextend. When you act from calm, you strike cleanly. Let this settle. You do not need to respond immediately. You do not need to explain yourself. You do not need to fill every gap. Space is power. And the universe often delivers its best outcomes in the space you stop interfering with. Practice this. When unsure, wait. When pressured, slow down. When tempted to force, pause. This is not delay, this is intelligence. Principle 7. Gratitude. As a wealth signal, gratitude is not politeness, it is positioning. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily of what could be taken away, not to create fear, but to sharpen appreciation. Because appreciation stabilizes the nervous system, and a stable nervous system thinks long-term, takes smarter risks, notices opportunity, attracts cooperation. When you are grateful, you stop signaling lack, and lack is loud. It broadcasts desperation. Gratitude broadcasts sufficiency. It tells life, I can handle more. This is why grateful people often receive more, not because they ask louder, but because they are trusted with expansion. Gratitude does not deny struggle, it reframes it. You can be grateful and ambitious, grateful and evolving, grateful and still wanting more. The key is this: you build from fullness, not deficiency. Say this internally: I appreciate what is, and I am open to more. This is the frequency of sustainable wealth. Integration. Pause, let everything settle. No need to memorize, no need to strain. This is not information, this is conditioning. You are learning to hold authority without aggression, feel emotion without being ruled by it, wait without anxiety, act without force. This is the Stoic advantage. In part 3, we go even deeper into the philosophy of enough, authentic power, non-attachment to status, and how calm identity reshapes reality. The philosophy of enough, authentic power, and the identity that attracts everything. Slow your breathing, let the mind soften. There is nothing to chase here, because the next shift is not about action, it is about identity. Most people do not fail because they lack effort, they fail because they are operating from a fragmented sense of self. They want success, but they do not feel sufficient. They want wealth, but they secretly feel behind. They want peace, but they believe peace must be earned later. The Stoics dismantled this illusion at its root. Principle 8, the philosophy of enough. In a world that profits from making you feel incomplete, the Stoics delivered a radical truth. Enough is not a quantity, enough is a state. Seneca, one of the richest men of his time, wrote, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, who is poor." This was not rejection of success. This was mastery over it. When you believe you are not enough yet, every desire becomes a demand, and demands create tension. But when you feel enough now, desire becomes clean. Curiosity replaces anxiety. Growth replaces grasping. The nervous system relaxes. The mind sharpens. Decisions improve. This is why people who feel whole attract more than people who feel hungry. Hunger rushes, wholeness waits, and life responds faster to those who are not begging. Feeling enough does not mean stopping ambition. It means ambition is no longer fueled by fear. From this state, you pursue success because it excites you, not because you are trying to fix yourself. Say this internally: I am already whole. Feel how the body responds. Notice the absence of pressure. From this identity, everything becomes easier to receive. Principle 9, authentic power and the end of performing. One of the greatest leaks of human energy is performance, trying to be impressive, trying to be agreeable, trying to be acceptable. Marcus Aurelius warned himself not to live according to the opinions of others, not out of arrogance, but out of efficiency. When you live in performance mode, your system is divided. Part of you is acting, part of you is watching. This division weakens focus, it drains energy, it creates internal resistance, and resistance blocks flow. Authentic power is quiet. It does not announce itself. It does not seek permission. When you stop performing, you stop leaking energy. When you stop explaining, you start embodying. People trust what is embodied. They question what is performed. This is why authenticity attracts opportunity. It creates coherence. You say what you mean, you choose what aligns, you decline without guilt. From this position, the right people recognize you immediately, and the wrong paths quietly fall away. Authenticity is not loud honesty, it is internal alignment. It is when your thoughts, values, and actions point in the same direction. Say this internally: I no longer pretend. This is not rebellion. This is clarity. Principle 10, non-attachment to status and outcome. Most people are not attached to success. They are attached to what success represents: validation, safety, worth. The Stoics removed this confusion. They understood that outcomes fluctuate, status shifts, circumstances change, but character compounds. When you detach from outcomes, you paradoxically perform better. because fear is no longer driving the system. You speak without trembling, you act without overthinking, you recover faster from loss. This is why the most grounded people often rise further. They are not afraid to lose what they do not use for identity. Non-attachment does not mean indifference. It means flexibility. You give your best, then you release control. This creates psychological resilience. And resilience is a magnet for leadership, wealth, and influence. Say this internally. I give my effort, I release the result. Feel the space this creates. This space is where intuition lives. Integration. You are not becoming someone new. You are shedding unnecessary weight, the need to prove, the fear of being behind, the tension of performance. What remains is stability. Stability creates trust. Trust attracts opportunity. This is why calm people are often invited into rooms others chase. In part 4, we complete the system. We lock in trust, in timing. We integrate divine order without passivity. And we seal the identity that allows life to work with you effortlessly. Trust in timing, identity lock-in, and the quiet certainty that wins. Settle into stillness. There is nothing left to seek. This final part is not about learning more. It is about allowing what you already understand to reorganize you. Because at this stage, effort no longer helps. Only alignment remains. Principle 11, trust in timing without losing momentum. The final test of maturity is patience without collapse. Most people can act. Few can wait without anxiety. Marcus Aurelius wrote that we must accept the things to which fate binds us and love the people fate brings into our lives. This was not resignation, it was intelligence. Timing is not random. It is responsive. When you rush, you collide with resistance. When you trust timing, events coordinate. Trusting timing does not mean stopping movement, it means stopping panic. You still prepare, you still refine, you still show up. But you no longer demand immediate confirmation. This shift changes your nervous system, and your nervous system determines your perception. A calm system notices openings. An anxious system misses them. Delays are often protection. Redirection is often refinement. Silence is often preparation. Say this internally. I move forward without urgency. This is how patience becomes power. Principle 12. Divine order without passivity. There is a misunderstanding about surrender. Surrender is not collapse. It is cooperation. The Stoics believed in a rational universe, not chaotic, not hostile. Order exists beyond your personal timeline. When you resist this order, you exhaust yourself. When you align with it, effort decreases. This is not spirituality. It is systems thinking. You do your part. Then you release control over what you cannot manage. Control over the uncontrollable creates stress. Stress clouds judgment. Release restores clarity. This is why people who trust life often appear lucky. They are not forcing outcomes. They are positioned to receive them. Say this internally. I cooperate with life. This is not weakness. This is leverage. Principle 13. The final identity lock-in. At this stage, identity matters more than technique. You do not manifest what you want. You manifest what you are stable enough to hold. A calm identity attracts calm outcomes. A confident identity attracts opportunity. A grounded identity attracts wealth that stays. This is why inner work always precedes external expansion. You are no longer chasing success. You are becoming compatible with it. You are no longer seeking peace. You are operating from it. You are no longer asking life to change. You have changed your posture within it. This is the Stoic advantage. You do not demand, you do not beg, you do not rush. You move with certainty. Say this slowly, internally. I am steady, I am capable. I am ready. Let these words settle without effort. Final integration. You now understand what the Stoics understood. Peace is not the absence of challenge. It is the absence of inner conflict. Wealth is not accumulation. It is stability multiplied by time. Success is not domination. It is alignment expressed consistently. When you remove resistance, life accelerates. When you remove desperation, opportunity appears. Nothing meant for you will miss you. Nothing forced will stay. Your role is simple. Remain calm, remain clear, remain aligned, and let life do what it has always done for those who are ready. Receive, closing anchor. Say this internally or aloud. I relax, I trust. I receive, stay grounded, stay patient, stay open. This is the Stoic path. This is the quiet way forward. This is how everything arrives.